Okay, guys, we're here with Paul from Cradle of Filth. How you doing, man?
Good, man, good.
Cool. Now, with this new album, which is Godspeed on the Devil's Thunder, which is a good album, it's a great album. When you guys started to sit down to write for this record, did you have in mind already that you wanted to do like a concept record, or is it something that came up later?
No, when I was actually writing the album, it's the concept came after. You know, I was just writing a collection of songs which I basically thought sounded good, to be honest. Okay. You know, I wanted to take the band up to like not another level as such, but I wanted to get a bit more aggression back into the band again, a bit more like get some more darkness in there, some like just some of the ambience that we sort of like tend to sort of forget about, you know. Okay. Get a bit more violence in the music. But yeah, I mean, once I finished that, just wrote a collection of songs, and then when I sent them to Danny so he could put the lyrics to them. He called me and says, you know, it really sounds like sort of dusk stroke, like cruelty and that sort of vibe. He says, I think I'm going to make it a concept, and so he did.
Okay, cool. Well, now with Pornography, with the last time, which was one of my favorites that you guys did, and now to this new album, did you guys try to? I know you just said you try to get back to more darker ambience type thing. Do you feel like you guys have grown more as songwriters and musicians with this new album?
Yeah, totally. I suppose so. I mean, because like Pornography, you know, it was. I mean, it's an amazing album. You know, we all absolutely love it. But I think that album come out at that particular point, and that's the style we was into. You know, but with this one, to be honest, it was like it's mainly myself and my friend Mark Newby-Robson that wrote the album. It was done for pure selfish reasons, to be honest, because I just wanted to play Fast Live again. I got bored of rock riffs, you know. But it's the songwriting's definitely come on. You know, I mean, both myself and Mark, we've actually started coming up with like some new material for the next album. Okay. You know, already. Yeah, coming up with ideas and stuff. You know, and yeah, it's going to be a lot harder than this one. Okay, all right. Well,
one thing about Cradle of Filth is you guys have always had the visual aspect to your band, whether it's live or promo shots or whatever. How's that going to evolve down the road? Are you guys going to try to take it another step?
The visual side of it, we always try and outdo ourselves on the visuals. You know, but I think there's only a certain point you can get to. I mean, there was some slogans would come up for shirts and like, no, we really can't even do that. Right. You know, so it comes to the point. I mean, the Jesus shirt we released, which was great at the point of time it came out, but we're trying to outdo that. It's kind of hard. It is really hard. Yeah. You know, because it just sounds cheesy most of it, and sounds like, oh, that's really crap. Yeah. You know, but on the visual aspect, yeah, we try and outdo ourselves all the time. But we usually fail most of the time. But no, I mean, for this album, the artwork for this album was done by a guy called David Ho. Okay. He's like, we found him on a digital, because I'm part of a digital arts forum. Oh, okay. I'm a member of that stuff because of the artwork I do. And we found him on there. Okay. And yeah, he agreed to it, and it's come out great. But I mean, I don't know what the artwork's going to be for like the next one. But it's, I mean, like band shots and like stage clothes, and we're always trying to like up the level, you know.
Right. Do you feel, because there's a lot of bands nowadays, because I'm 38, so I come from like the 80s, you know. Right. Okay, cool. So you remember going to the shows and seeing the big shows and dressing up and stuff. So it's kind of, that's one of the things that's kind of disheartening to me is like some of the guys that just show up in like t-shirts and tennis shoes, because you have to have kind of like.
This is exactly what I've been saying.
Yeah. So you feel that way too, right?
100%. You know, it's like, it's nothing worse than going to a show and the band's just up there in just jeans and t-shirts. Right. You know, there's nothing worse. You're thinking, well, hang on a second. You really haven't got much conviction in what you do. Right. Or you can't be bothered, or you don't respect the people that's come to see your show because they're paid X amount of money for your tickets. You know,
and you showed that they showed up like they just rolled out of bed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But no, it's. I mean, we try and do that. I mean, to be honest, you know, I grew up with Maiden.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
You know, like Number of the Beast and like Beast on the Road and stuff. Yeah. You know, and it's like when we started off as a band, we sort of like looked and thought, yeah, it'd be amazing to do a stage show like that, and so we sort of take a leaf from like Priest, Maiden, and stuff like that, you know, King Diamond and stuff, you know, like Alice Cooper and all that sort of things, you know. But yeah, so that's the reason why we like get dressed up and put on a bit of a show, you know, because we want to try and make sure that like the fans, kids, or whoever come and see us actually get some money's worth.
And you also had the other dynamic with Sarah as well, right?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really a dilemma. She's, to be honest, I don't really know what happened there. But you know, she met somebody, you know, and she's like, it was the love of her life, and also she just felt the need to move on.
Okay.
You know, I mean, Rosie, our keyboard player, she's doing vocals now. She sounds
Okay.
amazing, absolutely amazing.
Cool. Well, what was the first band? Was it Maiden that got you to really want to play guitar?
Adrian Smith, yep.
Adrian Smith.
Yeah, totally. I remember jumping up and down on my bed when I was a kid playing air guitar at Maiden. You know, and then I thought, what's the point in playing air guitar? I might as well learn the real thing.
Right.
You know, well, yeah, Maiden, totally got me into it.
Well, what's one of the big misconceptions when you guys are on the road that like a lot of fans think that a lot of the bands that they go to see, especially the real underground bands, they think you guys are like everybody is making money and is rich and stuff. What's one misconception about being on the road that you can tell the fans that's not really real?
There's no hotels. It's scummy as hell. We all smell. It's not glamorous whatsoever. It's like, oh, you name it, I've heard it all. You know, no, we don't get groupies. That doesn't happen.
Really? That doesn't happen?
No.
Not even with the makeup and shit?
No. No. Well, there's the odd one or two, but it's just like, whatever. Wow. You know, it's just like, 9 times out of 10, we're not even really interested, to be honest, because we've been doing it for so long.
Right.
You know, but yeah, no, it's nothing, it's like that. I mean, when people say, oh, it must be amazing this to do this on the tour and that on the tour and on the tour bus and you have parties here, none of that happens.
Really?
Yeah, none of it.
So it's kind of maybe like Spinal Tap type thing, man?
It's just, I suppose. I suppose. But no, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, it's our job, you know?
Right.
And to perform like 1,000,000% every night, you've got to look after yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to. And if we don't, and we end up playing a really bad show because of our stupidity the night before, it's not fair on our fans.
It's ripping the fans off.
Yeah, it's totally ripping them off. You know, so this is the reason why we put a cap on absolutely everything and go, no, we're a professional band.
That's cool, man. That's very good. That's good to hear a band actually come out and say that, man, because a lot of bands sometimes don't do that.
Yeah, well, they have to do that.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, people have paid like their hard-earned money to come and see us, so you have to make sure you give back as much as you possibly can.